The concept of wealth is often associated with material possessions and financial success. However, when considering the love for Jesus, wealth takes on a more profound and spiritual meaning. The love for Jesus can make one wealthy in ways that transcend earthly riches, leading to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and joy. First and foremost, loving Jesus brings a sense of inner peace and contentment that is unparalleled by any material possession. When one surrenders their life to Jesus, they experience a deep-seated peace that calms the mind, soothes the soul, and quiets the heart. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances, but rather on the internal assurance that God is in control. As a result, one's focus shifts from accumulating wealth and possessions to cultivating a deeper relationship with God. This shift in focus leads to a life of simplicity, gratitude, and trust, which are essential components of true wealth. Moreover, loving Jesus brings a sense of purpose and direction to one's life. When one is committed to following Jesus, they are compelled to live a life that reflects his teachings and values. This means prioritizing love, compassion, kindness, and generosity, which in turn lead to a life of significance and impact. By investing in eternal things, such as people, relationships, and spiritual growth, one's life becomes rich in meaning and fulfillment. The wealth that comes from loving Jesus is not measured by bank accounts or possessions, but by the positive difference one makes in the lives of others. Additionally, loving Jesus provides access to a network of supportive and like-minded individuals who share a common purpose and passion. The body of Christ is a global community of believers who are committed to loving and serving one another. This community provides a sense of belonging, support, and encouragement, which is essential for navigating the challenges of life. When one is connected to a community of believers, they experience a sense of wealth that is rooted in relationships, shared experiences, and mutual support. This wealth is not limited by geographical boundaries or socio-economic status, but is available to all who put their faith in Jesus. The love for Jesus also fosters a mindset of generosity and stewardship. When one recognizes that everything they have belongs to God, they are more likely to use their resources to bless others and advance God's kingdom. This mindset leads to a life of generosity, volunteering, and philanthropy, which in turn leads to a sense of wealth that is rooted in giving rather than getting. By investing in eternal things, such as people, ministries, and missions, one's life becomes rich in purpose and fulfillment. The wealth that comes from loving Jesus is not measured by what one accumulates, but by what one gives away. Finally, loving Jesus brings a sense of eternal perspective to one's life. When one's focus is on eternity, they are less concerned with accumulating wealth and possessions in this life. Instead, they prioritize investing in eternal things, such as their relationship with God, their character, and their legacy. This eternal perspective leads to a life of wisdom, discernment, and patience, as one recognizes that true wealth is not measured by earthly standards, but by heavenly ones. The wealth that comes from loving Jesus is not limited by time or circumstance, but is rooted in the eternal nature of God's loving kingdom. In conclusion, the love for Jesus can make one wealthy in ways that transcend material possessions and financial success. By bringing a sense of inner peace, purpose, and direction, loving Jesus leads to a life of simplicity, gratitude, and trust. The wealth that comes from loving Jesus is rooted in relationships, shared experiences, and mutual support, and is fostered by a mindset of generosity and stewardship. Ultimately, the love for Jesus brings a sense of eternal perspective to one's life, leading to a life of wisdom, discernment, and patience. As one puts their faith in Jesus, they experience a wealth that is truly eternal, and that can never be taken away.